Hey everyone! Welcome to a live episode of the RC Roundtable podcast. I'm your host right now, Lee, because Fitz is gone.
Are you going to do your Clint Eastwood empty chair speech?
No, what's that?
You don't remember that from the last election?
No.
Clint Eastwood. No, never mind. I don't want to get political, but
yeah. Do it.
No, I couldn't quote it, but yeah, never mind.
Well, if y'all can see from below, there's this great hobby room, but it's missing Fitz because he just ran off and we weren't going to wait for him. So, all right. So who we got in the Quinny Perks? I have no idea what that means if it's a joke, but hello. I saw that you said you can't wait. Jason, hello from Georgia. Thanks for joining us. And there he is. What special beverage do you have tonight, Fitz?
What, we're live?
Yeah, we're been live.
You couldn't wait 30 seconds.
That is our show, folks. We do everything live.
Mary Mother
I've already done introductions. We're already up to your show now. Go ahead. Just kidding.
So where are we?
You just came in, so
we're just. We were auctioning off your models.
Since you started the coup, you might as well just continue on, right?
I pretty much explained that you were missing, and we were just talking. And Terry had a joke, but he didn't finish.
It wasn't a joke; it was an observation,
a speech.
I thought it would resonate with you, but
I'm sorry. Well, let's say howdy to our people who are already in the chat room.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people already.
There are. Thanks, guys. 20 people already. That's I think it's the most have ever been waiting for us. That's great. And I think we're going to have to do a giveaway just because of that. So all 21 of you that are in, you better stay to the end. I'm going to give off. I'm giving off this can of spray paint.
Hardly touched.
And hey, it is brand new. Who needs? Chime in the chat room. Who needs this can of Rust-Oleum 2X Ultra Cover in pumpkin spice?
You can use it to paint this broken spinner.
There you go.
Wow.
Everybody's going to pitch in. Let's see. Scott, Ron, goes.
But we do have a giveaway, right? Are we doing the same thing? Just part 2?
Yeah, we'll just announce it again, but we'll save that till a little later. But if you guys have listened to the podcast or 118 podcast, we mentioned a giveaway. Not very well, mind you. I did put a post on Facebook to kind of reinvigorate the giveaway, but we'll talk about that later down the end after Fitz's wonderful discussion about small. And hopefully Tony will chime in. Maybe he can give us some insight. Oh, there's Tony. There's Tony.
Oh, yo, Tony.
So actually, we probably should. I'll send Tony the link. Hey, Tony, I'm going to send you the link for our StreamYard. And if you want to chime in, maybe you and Fitz can do the details. So why don't you start talking, Fitz? I'll share the link to Tony. That's how we roll, people.
I thought we asked questions. We're just going to let him...
well, this way we can ask Tony, too.
He's just kind of monologue. But by the way, you were talking about spray paint. Scott Will says he has some old luster coat. You can't find that stuff anymore.
No.
Oh yeah, I got a can down here of aluminum for my P38.
Does it go bad?
That's aluminum.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Hmm.
Oh, I hope I have.
Oh, well.
Good.
What are you clicking on?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm trying to send Tony our link.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Fitz, I'm going to ask you a couple lead-in questions to get you going in the direction I want you to be. So where were you last weekend?
Where
were you on the night of the 20th?
I know nothing. I wasn't there. I know nothing. I know nothing about these things. Well, all I could say is I went, I saw them, but I didn't get the T-shirt.
What? They were selling T-shirts, right?
I know, and I kept forgetting, and they weren't really pushing them. They were kind of like, hey, that looks like a nice T-shirt. And then I got distracted by something shiny or noisy in this case.
Noisy.
And so I want to say to the club, you got to push your T-shirts. So I would have bought one, but I kept forgetting. I kept getting distracted. You got to walk around and say, hey, we have T-shirts. Buy, especially when they need money. Anyways, that's just a friendly reminder. But anyways, so yeah, if you listen to our show last time, and I know you did, we talked about I was going to the small event. That's SMALL, the Small Modelers Aircraft Lovers League.
Airplane Lovers League.
Airplane, aircraft, aerodrome.
No. Small Model Airplane Lovers League.
Yeah, Small Model Airplane Lovers League is an acronym. It's held in is it Monteville?
Mayflower?
It's just right. Mayflower.
Do you want
It
me to
started
tell
with
the
an M.
story about your weekend?
Yeah, you were there. No,
Fitz had a great time.
I'm just going to take Fitz out of the main screen, and then Terry and I will take over for you.
Yeah.
no, it was just outside of Little Rock, Arkansas,
We need
and
a cardboard cutout of Fitz, a flat Fitz.
yeah. So this is a yearly. There you go. This is a yearly event. It had gotten delayed this year. Supposed to be, I think, the first sometime early in June, and it got pushed back because you know why, to October, which is fine because usually there's some nice weather in October, and it turned out the weather was mostly nice. We can go into it. What happened? And there's a field. It's a very nice field, grass field. Lots and lots of room for everything, and you can see some stuff.
Lots of these.
Lots of those little jewels. So this event is designed specifically for small aircraft, and the rules are roughly 0.25 cubic inch displacement and smaller for glow. Although there's a little bit of allowance for slightly larger for control line planes, because there are control line planes there, and roughly equivalent for electric. There's no hard numbers for the electric, but roughly the same class of planes that you fly electric.
They'll let you know if you cross the line.
Yeah. They actually had talked at some point at having some sort of hard numbers, but nobody could. It's really not easy to go the one-to-one correlation. So it's the spirit of the thing, and for the most part, everybody hung to that. There was a couple of large-ish planes there, but they didn't fly very much that were electric. But anyways, it's a really neat event. There you go. Yes. So this we can talk about this now or later. So
just giving people an idea of what it is. Yeah.
Yes, these are just some of the planes that showed up, and these are all half A class, so roughly 0.09 to 0.010 displacement engines.
Did you say half A?
Half A class.
Oh, wow.
That includes 049, right?
049, yeah, 049, 051, 061s, 020s, 010s.
Oh, I thought the bottom end was 09 when you said it the first time.
No. The top end is like 09.
Okay.
There might have been a Cox 15 snuck in, but basically 09 and smaller. And so we wanted to get them all together, and I think the official count was 106. Right, Tony? He just popped in.
There's Tony.
He's shaking his head.
Tony's got an airplane in the background. Something's flying overhead. some radio
They
engine.
actually are. I had a powered parachute outside the window earlier. A guy was doing some flights around and just had a Cessna fly by.
Oh, nice.
Your audio is a little high there, Tony. Back off the mic a little bit.
Okay, will do.
Well, he's doing that. So joining us is Tony Urcurso, and Tony was also at the event with me, and he was there longer than I was. He got there before I got there and after, all the way from California. California. Him and another gentleman came from California. And I should note that this event pulls in people from basically all around the country. So we had a couple from California, a guy from North Carolina, Missouri, Illinois, Texas. What am I missing? I think was there Tennessee? I think was in the mix.
Yeah, Tennessee, Georgia as well.
Georgia. Okay, yes. And I think somebody from, of course, Louisiana and Texas, and maybe a few other places. So it's a really neat event. Despite the change in dates and the COVID thing, we ended up with 46 pilots. That's when I last counted, which was really good. That's a good number for being a good show of people, but not overly crowded. Lots of flying we could do without getting into any trouble with conflicts and that kind of stuff. So I don't know where to start. It was just so much was going on. There's some pictures that have been posted on social media. And here's a picture of all of us. Tony took actually on Saturday morning-ish or afternoon. Oh, it was afternoon probably. So
the contest is, all right, everybody, name as many planes as you can.
Oh, forget it.
Tony, you can't play.
Okay. So there's a boat there too.
Yeah, those little boat 049, man. Our buddy Richard was really interested in that boat. But it was a Cox 049 powered boat.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a gentleman by the name of Jonathan brought it from Tennessee. And by the way, how's my mic? Is it real loud still?
It's better.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I think it's workable.
Yeah, a gentleman from Tennessee by the name of Jonathan brought it. It is an original Dumas Miss Thrifty shovel nose hydroplane, which had an 049 in it. It was really impressive.
Let's see if I can find it. Is that it right there?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
It was only
That
one.
is it?
Yeah.
Do you have to run a flywheel in boats?
Usually you do of some sort.
Let's see if
I didn't look at this one close
enough.
enough to see what was in it, but I imagine it has some sort of flywheel.
Here we go. How's that?
There
So
you go.
see, okay,
Yeah.
look at that Thriftway.
Here to answer your question, there was a flywheel in it as well. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it
That
was really
makes
neat. It
sense.
was a neat little boat. I'm not sure why he brought it, but it was still neat to see.
Why do we bring anything?
Yeah.
Because we can.
Yes.
There's no pond on site. Right?
How is this powered? 049?
There we go. Yeah, we had some nice barbecue on Saturday.
The power of the
was really
porta
good.
potty.
Yeah, part of porta potty. There were 2 porta potties, so they were really accommodating. There's one of the control line planes, remember correctly.
I'm sorry, you have to forgive me. I'm trying to go. It's a little delayed on my computer.
Oh yeah, so here's a couple of the control line planes, at least 2 or 3 of them. The Flart, that looks about right. Stop sign flew. I remember seeing that fly a little bit. It was a little wobbly.
Yeah,
but
it's
it
the
did fly.
TLAR, which is that looks about right engineering group at the field.
Yeah, I saw their names on several planes. Is that a company or is it just like a
No,
interest group?
it's just a joke, right? So these are modelers that just sort of scratch build airplanes, and they went with that looks about right sort of theme, and so
Okay. All right, I was wondering about that. I meant to ask. So
TLAR.
as I said, just to finish up the overview, this is a multifaceted event. So you have control line, radio controlled, free flight, rocket powered gliders, regular gliders. Am I missing anything?
You've covered it.
Pretty much, yeah. Whatever that's small and flies in some form or fashion usually shows up. So we had everything from literally $10 free flight electric planes to some pretty fancy control line stuff, some really nice RC models of all sorts. Another thing I wanted to mention is most of the stuff that shows up is built. There's very little ARFs that show up to this event. There's a few here and there, and that's fine. I brought 1 or 2, but overwhelming majority of these planes were constructed from kits or scratch built, or made out of foam that was bent and folded and whatnot.
Did you forget rockets?
Yeah, I said rockets.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I think that's the SR-71 that was flying off. It was
Yeah.
an SR-71. I see there was a Saturn V. I didn't see that. I guess that was on Sunday.
And that was on Sunday, and then the Hobby Labs SR-71 was flown by Dave Schaefer.
Yeah, is he the same guy that had the X-30?
Correct.
Yeah, which was really neat. Although it was more of a dive and flare when it was on the glide. That was kind of funny. But
True.
he had some nice launches, some really neat. Here we go, a bunch of stuff, a bunch of Tony stuff. There's a lot of pictures. I see Tom and Richard.
Yeah,
And
real quick, just thought I'd mention that it's in RC groups, guys. Look under RC flight events and small 2020. And I think you can go through these threads even if you're not a member, right, of RC groups.
Yeah, correct.
You just can't
Yeah.
post.
So anybody who's watching right now, you need to jump on this and take a look. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, take a look at the small event there, and also go through the history of the small event. Look at all the years. It's great.
Yeah, there's some stuff, and we can touch on it too. There was a special thing held on Saturday, kind of related to the history.
Find the video of Fitz and I sweltering 2 years ago.
Yeah, really. I went a couple of years ago. Man, it was brutal.
I
It was
lost 15 pounds on the small diet.
So speaking of the weather, I think it started on the 22nd, which was Wednesday. Was when it technically started.
Yeah.
Was that Wednesday? No,
That's
that
right.
was actually Thursday.
Thursday was the official first day.
Thursday was there, but people were there like, I don't know, last year and were camping out or something.
Yeah.
So Tony was there early, so he knows. But anyways, because I know a bunch of people showed up Wednesday, which is the 21st. And I due to work, I couldn't make it up until Thursday. And after checking off at the hotel around just after lunch, I popped over to the field, and there was already a bunch of people there flying. It looked like almost a regular fly-in just on Thursday. That is, we had a real beautiful flew over. We'll talk about that in a minute. So, and Tony was there, burning up a storm of fuel, flying every
That's the trivia. How many gallons of fuel did Tony go through?
But I'll just say real quick, the weather on Wednesday and Thursday was really, really nice. A little warmish, but really, really nice. It was nice about half the day on Friday, and then a storm came in and it was a rain, a front kind of came through and kind of rained on us. Fortunately, it didn't blow very hard, but it rained. And after that, it was kind of a murky next couple of days. It was flyable, but especially Saturday morning was a bit cold, and it wasn't much sun. And then it eventually warmed up a bit, so it wasn't too bad, but it was still kind of murky with the sun only making occasional peaks. I don't know about Sunday. Tony, had Sunday come a little better?
Yeah, Sunday we had a productive morning. We flew from about sun up right until about noonish. So considering what happened with the weather and this cold front moving through, we still got a lot of flights in, and it was a heck of a turnout with 46 pilots there, and actively everybody was still very much engaged. It was pretty awesome.
All right. So, Lee, Terry, you had questions for us specifically, or should we just wax lyrically?
Well, I'm showing a picture right now. Isn't this Tom's plane?
That's Tom's, and he's got, I forgot what it, do you remember what it's called, Tony? He told me a couple of times, I forgot.
I cannot recall.
I know it was a free flight design that he converted to RC.
Right.
I think it was a kit. I think he was able to get somewhere.
Little Red something, and I can't remember the.
Yeah, it's got a weird name, and the guy is known for making weird airplanes. It was really neat. It's not very big. The wings are solid balsa that are airfoiled. It's not built up.
Interesting.
And it's got a really distinctive silhouette in the air when it's flying around. I took some pictures of it flying. He flew it a few times. He said it flies okay. It's got some quirks to it, but he generally likes it. And he said he doesn't know why the wings are like that, the wingtips. It's just a really quirky plane that he threw together fairly quickly to fly. And it was evolved from some free flight design from way back when, but I can't remember what it is. I'll have to find out. I don't think I wrote it down either.
Cool. Did you take photos and video, Fitz, or did you just enjoy yourself?
I took photos. I took a lot of photos, in fact, because I will be writing an article for Model Aviation on the event. So I took a lot of photos. That's how I was running around with the camera so much.
Awesome.
I didn't take much for videos. I took a few videos, but not much. This was not Kim. Who was the other guy? Remember who this was? The other QT. I think that was a diesel QT, wasn't it?
It was. I think that was Guy, who was the other gentleman from California.
Yes. Yeah.
That's going to be the SR-71.
Yes.
It's a little blurry, but it's black. It's sleek.
So we should make note that these are RC assist rockets. So they're rail controlled. So they go up, and they're, I guess you hang on with dear life as it's going up, and then with the
ooh, there you go. Look at that.
And then on the glide down, you can control it, with elevons or whatever.
I'd be rolling that sucker all the way up to apogee.
Corkscrew that sucker up there.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. Oh, that's a cool looking plane with this over here.
This event is a very eclectic event. All kinds of weird and neat and interesting designs that show up. That's one of the really great things about it.
Andy
This is
Clancy
sort of
thing?
Yeah, it's like a Clancy.
Is that the Speedy Bee? No.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that's an HP 21 4-stroke in it.
Okay.
Look at that.
Yeah, how often do you see not only the Speedy B, but an HP 21? I didn't know HP made a 21 4-stroke, as a matter of fact.
Yes, quite unique setup he had there, and the engine was perfectly matched for the airframe.
Oh,
really
nice.
awesome.
Yeah, that's
just
see
a
some
quick
interesting
history. Sorry, Fitz.
No, go ahead. No.
Just a quick history. There's been this small's been going on 31 years, and I first read about the event back in, I think it was 88. 89 time frame, and dreamed of going to this event for about 25 years, and finally made my first one in 2015. And it is one of those events that's not to be missed, especially if you love small aircraft and you're really big into nostalgia. I think Fitz, this may be a bold statement, but I think we had more glow powered models than electric at this event.
You may be right. Yes,
Yeah,
I think by a large margin, yes.
And if in fact there were more electric planes, I will tell you that there was not that many in the air compared to glow. We were seeing the glow stuff flying constantly from sun up to sundown, down, with the exception of when the weather came through. So it was really heartwarming to see so many passionate modelers bringing out vintage aircraft and flying them with glow systems and diesel as well.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Sort of a vintage meet as well.
Now, while you're on this picture, Lee, let me just give a bit of a shout out to Fitz here. The B-36 you see there was built by my friend John Morgan, who passed away in August. And prior to going to Small, I made the trip out to Chapel Hill, Tennessee to visit with the family and help them basically remove all the LiPo batteries out of his shop because they were concerned about having all the batteries there. And before I departed, they asked me to take one aircraft and fly it at Small. And fortunately, this B-36, the wings broke down. Just one bolt held the wing on, and there was no power systems on the wings. It was just a pusher. So I took it, threw a receiver in it, and brought a few batteries from his collection, and we flew it. And Fitz hand launched that aircraft twice during the event as we flew tribute to John Morgan. So Fitz, thanks again for doing that. It's quite a big model, and he did an exceptional job getting a real clean launch. And it was quite an honor for me to fly the tribute to John and his family.
Oh, thanks. It was a neat model to see in the air. It was really, I got some good pictures of it. I'll have to send you some, Tony.
Great, thanks, Fitz.
Really, really majestic, and it's kind of neat to see it flying around. And I think at one point you had a 109 chasing you around. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I bought the model in storage. I ended up getting a dedicated storage unit now with a building space. I can do repairs there in Little Rock, and it's there, and it will fly every year at small.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, cool.
Speaking of Devil, I see Kim Strichter is in the chat too. He was there.
Oh, great. He's
So yeah, I don't remember seeing this fly, but this was a little, I think this was
Is that a Dakota?
Little Dakota.
Is it glow or electric? I can't tell. Looks like
I
it's
believe it's electric.
okay.
I'm going to go electric.
I think that was built by Kevin Wolfong.
Ah, okay. Yeah, there was quite a few planes that I saw, but I don't remember seeing fly, but they may have flown.
Yeah, there were a couple of Joe Wagner aircraft flown there because Joe Wagner passed away as well over the summer. And so we flew a Joe Wagner tribute flight with, I was flying a Wagner Sioux, and Tom Blakeney, I believe, flew a Dakota. So, yeah, tip of the hat to Joe Wagner and his family. Rest in peace. But we wanted to pay tribute to some of the giants that we've lost this year. From what I understand, not because of COVID, just other health issues. And then also mention to John Brodak, because we had a really awesome control line gathering at the event and did some tribute flights for John Brodak as well.
Cool.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, this event. Well, I was just say this event has a real reverence for the founders and the people who's attended in the past, and we'll talk about it later. But there was a special tribute to that from Tom Blakeney at the end.
Yes.
So, well, talk about
I was just going to touch on this aircraft. What I love about this is if you measure from like here to the CG, it's probably the same from here back. look how long that is.
Yeah. The battery is also the tail skid.
Yeah, I forgot who that was. I flew a few times with a Norvell. Do you remember who that was, Tony?
I can't recall if that was Guy's aircraft. There were 3 or 4 of these shark face aircraft that were there.
Yeah.
It was amazing to see them flying. They're pretty quick and rudder elevator only. That's my Zero.
Yeah, there's
It was broken in shipment. The elevator was broken off the control rod, and I didn't take the time to get it fixed up. So I decided I'm going to hold off until next year, where I can devote a day. I'm going to get there about a day early just to do some repairs on some of the aircraft that were damaged in shipment. I had a hole punched through one of the wings on my, I think it was my QT that hole in the wing, so I need to patch that up as well.
That's too bad. I would love to see it fly. Yeah, see the 109 mid, second from the left in the mid, the guy holding it.
Right there.
Yeah, that's a House of Balsa ME-109. I actually had one of those some years ago with OS 10, and I had problems getting it to fly until I realized the baffle in the muffler was losing some power. So I took it out and I was able to fly it. And I mentioned it to him. I forgot his name.
Dale.
Dale, yeah, because I think he hadn't flown it.
Dale Womack.
And I just haven't been mentioning it to him, and he's decided to do the same thing. He took the baffle out of the muffler, and that thing screamed along really quite well. He flew it several times that I saw, and it was really flying quite nice. And at one point, he was chasing Tony with the B-36.
That's great. By the way, just to go back to the other picture you showed of the shark face, the designer Eric Clutton attended Small last year, and what an awesome thing to have this iconic man who developed some great aircraft, originally from England, who moved to the United States and lives in Tennessee. To have him join, quite a treat. So to see 3 of his aircraft fly at Small this year was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I remember those shark planes were in the air quite a bit. There's a white one too that I saw fly quite a bit.
That's right.
Let's see.
The SR-71.
Yeah.
That's the rocket launch?
Yes.
Okay.
Note he's using an old 72 megahertz.
Or 27, maybe. Yeah.
The model was really produced by a company called Hobby Labs.
All right.
Cool.
Go up.
The
sorry.
obligatory. Okay, which one are you looking at? There's Fitz. Let's look at Fitz for a second, shall we?
Don't look at me.
Tony, describe this picture for us. Who is this guy?
This is our dear friend, master modeler and podcast extraordinaire, talk show host, Fitz Walker. Deciding whether or not he needs to plug in a battery or add fuel to this model.
I do both.
Now, Fitz, you were a sponsor of the event, weren't you?
Last second sponsor.
Right there. Is that your Fitz fuel, or is that someone else's Sig fuel? Curses.
It could be
More product
fuel.
placement.
It's all good. We all use all kinds of fuel, whatever gets the engine turning.
I heard a few pilots call him Hollywood. So
Right.
I guess since the QT's up, we should mention our little QT dogfight we had.
yes.
So Tony and I were both flying our QTs. We have these little Cox 049 powered QTs, and so we were flying on formation. And for some reason, I don't know why, but we decided to do an impromptu little dogfight for a few seconds. And somebody caught it on video. I think I cross-posted over to our Facebook page. And so we were basically circling around each other for a few laps, and then kind of diving at each other until we kind of got up in formation, and then I ran out of fuel.
So Tony won.
Yeah, but it was the second flight because I was still flying the same tank when he got up the second time. So,
Yeah, it's just a treat to see those two airplanes kind of turn in on each other and fly really pretty tight circle.
Yeah. It's surprised how maneuverable that QT is. It always amazed me.
I am as well. For a rudder elevator only configuration, it was really impressive.
Yeah, it's better than you would think. In fact, there were quite a few QTs. There was at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, a popular
Is
model
that-
this year.
Is that Apache and autogyro?
Yes.
Yes,
that's
control
pretty cool.
line.
Oh,
That's an original Cox production plastic control line model. I have one. To be honest with you, I don't know if it really flies on the rotor. I think the rotor could stop dead but still make circles on the little stub wing.
Probably some brute
When
force.
the rotor starts spinning up, the helicopter tries to pitch up, and you're fighting that pitch up. So a lot of times, if you're just flying straight and level, you don't see the rotor rotating much.
that's funny.
Those little stubby wings.
Good times though, but a lot of classic Cox airplanes at the event, which was really cool.
Yeah, you can see the Cox helicopter free flight 020 powered there in the back.
Yeah,
There was a neat.
helicopter.
You see the F-82 in the back, the twin.
Yeah,
That's also a
yeah.
control line.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing him fly, but I was kind of gawking at it earlier. I was like, well, that's kind of neat. I like that.
Yeah.
You can just see a free flight UFO on the left. You see that round thing, the disc?
Oh,
Shape?
yeah.
Those
Yeah.
free flight UFO things.
Yeah, Kevin had a lot of UFO flights. Really awesome to watch. He usually start off the morning launching a bunch of them. And I have a video, which I'll try to get uploaded later on tonight, of him hand launching it. And unfortunately, it banked at an angle, and this thing made a perfect circle around him. It looked like it was stalking him. It climbed up a little bit, and then it buzzed me. So I got a video of it coming right. And then eventually crashed. So it looked like an alien who was drunk flying it.
Now, Fitz, there was another video of your Aquastar sliding off the grass, barely.
Yes. So there's the Aquastar. It's right over here. I don't know if you can see it in the back behind me.
Well,
That's a
hold
new
on.
acquisition, right?
Let me
That-
switch. Hold on. Let me switch cameras for a second so we can see you, Fitz. Okay.
So yeah, there it is right here on the table, the Aquastar. It's a seaplane, Hero Engineering, if I remember correctly. And I picked it up basically a week before the event at a swap meet. I was going to another event, stopped by the swap meet, and somebody I knew, a mutual friend of ours, Lee, had it. And he gave me a deal I couldn't refuse. Came with a Norvell 061 engine on it. I was like, that'll be perfect for small. So I did a quick cleanup of the engine. The engine was all gunked up, so I had to take it apart, throw it in a bath of antifreeze in a crock pot, and then I threw it in a sonic cleaner, and that cleaned it all right up. And I brought it out to the event, and I had a little bit of trouble with the engine. At first it cranked right up, but then it wouldn't stay running, and we ended up going through 3 different glow plugs on the thing. And we found out that Cox glow plugs will not only fit, but they work on a Norvell engine.
Oh.
So
That's
the
probably
top
not
one.
coincidental.
Yeah, probably not, and that's a good thing. So because the head that came with it seems to not be working very well. And I had one in my box bouncing around. I didn't seem to run much better. And then I think was it you, Tony, or that found another head for me?
Yeah, I pulled the head off another engine I had, and fortunately it worked out.
Yeah, it worked great.
I thought the Norvels used glow plugs. They have glow heads.
Well, it looks like they changed because some of my Norvels have a normal glow plug. This one had sort of a like a glow insert into the I can't describe, but insert plug.
Okay.
So somebody may have changed it or something, and that just didn't work. And so we used a regular Cox, whatever, 049. It wasn't a high compression head, just a regular head, and it cranked right up. It ran. Yeah, it ran consistently that way. I may have a little bit of an issue with the tank being a little bit lower in the engine. I'm going to change that. I think it's the way it's mounted. I couldn't do a field fix, but now that I'm back in my workshop, I'm going to tweak the tank location a little bit because it ran, but it would run to about half a tank, and then I usually would quit on me for some reason. But anyways, the big deal was launching it because Tony. So Tony was my hand launcher for this. And it was
hand launcher.
Well, this is what happened. 2 or 3 times we get this thing running. Really, it was singing along quite well. And Tony would go to throw it. In fact, he threw it, and it would immediately quit. So he threw it and go.
The G forces of the throw were starving it or something.
They're starving it. I was leaning out somehow, and it was funny. At one point, we were like, okay, just pretend you're going to launch it. Just kind of do this with it. And Tony's going, it ran fine. He's like, okay. And he goes to throw it. Brr. It's like, son of a... So at that point, we're like, okay, let me try something. It's the grass, it's shortcut grass. Grass, I think, was a little bit damp. I say, it's a seaplane. Why don't we just do a grass takeoff? It's got a working rudder.
Right.
So we put it on.
Are the pontoons permanent?
No, they're held on my rubber bands, and there's no pontoons on this one. I didn't put them on.
Oh, but that's good then. You don't want them anyway.
Yeah, I didn't need them anyways. So we put it on the ground, and Tony goes over and grabs the rudder and sort of just gives it a little shove, a little push to get it started. And the plane kind of bounces along. I think I was kind of doing some fishtailing for a little bit.
Right.
And it was like, is this thing going to get off? Is this thing going to get off? It's kind of bouncing around the ground, and it kind of hits a little rut.
It was labeled the Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, yeah. Because one time I did it again. It kind of I ground looped it and took off in the opposite direction. But it kind of hit a rut, bounced up in the air, and it took off and it flew. Oh. Everybody was cheering. Yeah.
What you're saying is you need a ramp.
I need a ramp and a counterweight or something. So, and that was the first flight of this plane. So my first ever flight with it, and it got up, and it's not overpowered by any means, but it flies okay. I had forgotten to secure the battery quite well, so I think the battery shifted a little bit. So the first flight felt a little marginally tail heavy, but after I secured the battery, it flew better. And it's a neat little plane. It just kind of chugs along. Like you said, Terry's got that huge tank on it. So once I get a consistent engine run, it'll probably fly for 10 minutes.
Right.
It was just a neat for swap meet find. It was great for small, and even Tom Blakeney said it was the most entertaining takeoff he's seen all weekend. Right. So it's I want to keep it. I want to see if I can get some tip floats for it and try it off of water at some point.
Yeah.
And kind of tweak the tank position and some other stuff. So, but thanks, Tony, for helping with that.
Does it have throttle?
Oh, it's one of the more satisfying flights at the event. I know the struggles you were having with getting that engine to run and stay running, and by the way, kudos to you for the saves, because as soon as it came out of my hand and that engine quit, he had just enough energy to be able to get the flare just right and put it down softly each time. So prevented damage and kept it going. So it was awesome.
Yeah. There wasn't much energy. I was like, oh crap. What were you going to say, Terry? I'm sorry.
Does it have throttle?
It does, but anything less than full throttle is not really all that usable except for landing. It's not. It doesn't have much margin on the power. I did play around with throttle a little bit, and one time it just quit. So I said, "No, I'll just leave it at full throttle. It's not going to hurt anything." But yeah, it's a throttled engine on the carburetor and stuff.
Okay. All right. Cool. And you had not run the engine before you got there?
I had no idea if it ran. Nope, I did not. This was a leap of faith. Right. In fact, 2 planes I had that with my Mambo that I got from Uli.
Yeah.
Lee was a courier for.
That's the cream and maroon one.
I'm the transporter.
Same thing with that one. I had not run it at all. Now that one I didn't take apart and clean it because it was free and running. So I said, well, I'll just give it a shot just for giggles. And that ended up firing right up and running just fine. I didn't have to do anything with that one. And so there was other guys that when I told them it was going to be the first flight, they gave me some, what do you call it? Some advice on CG. They said, oh, be careful with the CG. It makes a little more noise heavy than you would think because it can do weird stuff. So I only flew it once because I forgot to pick up another battery regulator, and I kept flying the seaplane, and so I had to swap. I would have to swap regulators out of the two planes. So, seeing as that the Mambo flew fine right out of the box, I didn't really need to do much with it. So I spent my energies on the seaplane trying to get it tuned in. But the Mambo is another nice little plane. It's got these little teeny tiny elevator controls. I'm like, is that going to be enough? They're more like trim tabs. And I asked one of the other guys, he said, oh, yeah, that's fine. It's the only thing is just keep your speed up a little bit on landing, and you'll be fine.
So
he was right.
Now, is that the original Mambo that the new Old School Model Works kit is designed after? No, it wasn't called the Mambo. Never mind.
No idea.
It was based on something from a long time ago, but not.
Yeah, I think technically this is the mini Mambo.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Tiny.
Yeah. And there's usually one or two there. I didn't see any fly. I think there was one at the event, but I don't remember seeing it fly. And somebody else said he left his at home for some reason.
Left his Mambo at home?
Troy Black left his at home. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe you just give it a rest. So, in fact, on Friday, just to go with what Tony was saying, on Friday, that's all I flew was glow-powered planes. I didn't fly anything electric on Friday.
You took
Good on you.
Yeah. Yeah. When I got there on Thursday, I took out a few electrics to fly those because I didn't feel like I just wanted something quick and easy.
Right.
So I had my, I got to mention, I had an incident.
Of course you did.
What's wrong with this picture?
Did you disassemble it in flight?
No, the ground disassembled it.
Oh, okay.
But it happened at the very end of a flight.
Huh.
So I had flown this once and had a nice flight with it. So I parted up and went to flight again. And immediately after launch, it decided it wanted to do constant loops or just pitch up. And I'm not sure if I lost elevator control or the battery came loose and it was far rearward CG, but it was doing its own thing. So by the time at one point it flew behind the pits.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was hanging over dear life. What the hell is going on? So at one point it got it back over the field, but at that point it was inverted and about 5 feet off the ground. So I just cut the throttle and I tried to add some down elevator, and I think that might have helped it, but it ended up ripping off the tail and breaking the spinner. That's why I was talking about the broken spinner.
Is that foam?
It's foam. This is the Fun Racer from.
I meant the spinner.
Oh no, it's plastic.
Okay.
So at one point it was heading straight for the ground. It was about to obliterate itself, and somehow it went into an outside loop or something, and so the damage is actually pretty fixable. It's not that bad. So
it looks fine.
Other than a broken prop and a broken spinner, I don't think as far as I can tell, I didn't bend the shaft. So I was you can't see it. There goes the tail.
But you still got to figure out why.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to change the elevator servo or what. I'm not sure. I'm really concerned why that happened because it was flying fine the first flight.
Huh.
So anyways, that was, am I missing anything else?
Well, on the last show, you were talking about renting a touring bus to get all your stuff up there. What did you end up with?
Oh, yeah. I meant to mention that. So my normal car, being a German car, that it has to go home to the repair shop at least once a year for some reason. And so I didn't have my car. It was in the garage being repaired, not my garage, but repair shop. So I get a good deal at the rental car company, so a company discount. So I never know what I'm going to get because it's kind of the things you kind of walk up and say, what's on the lot? What looks good? And there it was, a Toyota RAV4. Now, this may not sound that exciting, but for me, it was very interesting because I'm actually looking at getting one of those. And so this was a good test to say, how well does it hold my airplanes? What is it like to drive on a long trip? And so forth. Is it something I would like or whatever? So not only it's something I get to test drive, but something that's for several days. So I picked up, I guess, the 2020 RAV4 or 2021. And of course, the first thing I did was put the largest plane I have to see if it fits in the boot, as the British would say.
That's the Shot Cub?
Yes. Because the Shot Cub fits in my Audi, but not much else fits. It barely fits, and pretty much nothing else fits in the car when I do that. So I'm happy to say that it fits much better in the RAV4, and there's actually room for other large planes when I do that. So it's not a huge vehicle, but it is noticeably bigger. So it passed that test, I think, well enough.
All right, good.
And this car has one of the best cruise controls ever. I love the cruise control on this thing.
I slept the entire way up there.
Almost. It's close to being a autopilot. It's not. It's really nice. I really like it.
What makes it good? Just a low tolerance?
Well, it's got adaptive cruise control. So
so when you get behind somebody,
yeah, it slows down. You can adjust the range. It's got a lane hold feature, so it kind of holds the lane if you wander off. So you can even take your hands off the steering wheel for a short period of time, and it'll hold the lane.
Dang it. Oh my!
So I can just set the cruise control, and it'll just hold it. Somebody pulls in front of me, it'll slow down. It'll actually come down to a complete stop under cruise control. If traffic stops and if traffic goes, it'll start up again. You don't have to hit the gas pedal. And I am fully convinced that it can read speed limit signs because there's a little display that shows the speed limit wherever you're driving, and it, without any variations, it always changed whenever I passed the speed limit
Big
sign.
Brother is watching you.
So it's too precise to be GPS. It was. So, anyways,
Give me back my aspirated car.
anyways, enough about the car. But it was. I had a nice thing to ship all my. I think I brought at least about 10 or 12 planes, not including a couple of control line and free flight stuff I brought. I didn't bring a free flight.
Okay, hold on. I was before we find out what you brought, I got an email, or excuse me, we got a message from Kim Stricker.
Oh yeah, Kim was there.
That mentioned that this is the comment. I don't know if I'm going to hit this. I don't know if it says show. Does it say? There we go. Can you read that?
Oh yeah, got to know to best year for fundraising.
Yeah,
Tony, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so as you indicated earlier, 46 registered pilots, which is really phenomenal considering we're dealing with COVID right now. So great turnout there. 106 half-A powered models from 010 to about 15, and we just sort of put them in the category, if you will. And so that was quite impressive. I've been trying to get us to get to 100 for the last couple of years, and we've come up short. But this year, I think we got to like 83. All of a sudden, we all kind of looked at each other, and somebody said, "Hey, I've got some in my car," and somebody else. And next thing you know, there's like 10 more people running to cars to pull airplanes out. So it was just amazing.
Yeah, it was like Star Trek. It was beaming in.
Yeah, it was really awesome. So if you guys don't mind, kudos to the Arkansas Sky Tigers RC Club for hosting a phenomenal event. Considering what we've been dealing with COVID, they had a flooded field a year and a half ago that was about under 6 feet of water, and they made that field, their runway, look like a golf course. It was absolutely incredible, the time and energy
really
they
nice.
put.
Yeah.
Now, saying that, they also experienced loss this year where a generator was stolen. Their main generator to power up all their outlets was stolen. And so for each pilot meeting, I put the word out to, hey, guys, consider making donations to help this club out. They raised $600. They needed $500 for the generator. So per Greg's message this afternoon, he indicated that, in fact, they raised so much money, they can buy another lawnmower, which was their mower barely hanging on, and a new generator. So it was the best they've had hosting small. So kudos to everybody for all their support of this wonderful event, and the Sky Tigers for hosting a great event.
That's very cool.
Thanks. So Fitz, what'd you bring back that you didn't bring with you?
Oh,
That's what I want to know. What has been added to your inventory?
I was generally pretty good, but I did pick up a couple of things. I did. So the company Willy Nilly's was there, and they had a really big, nice display and showing all their models and stuff. They had some special discounts for people buying products, and I ended up buying. I bought a couple of little receivers that are in a plane because I bought the Mambo and the what do we call that thing? Aquastar. Sorry. I brought some receivers, but they had some really nice Spectrum receivers, Spectrum compatible receivers. So I was able to use the new NX6 for some stuff. So I decided to pick those up from them. But I did get a little control line plan, a little Ringmaster 049. I think it's 049. Yeah, 049. Because I saw when they're flying, it looked like it flew really nice. This is as a built-up wing. It's not a sheet balsa or anything like that. And I thought, well, this looks really neat. I kind of wanted to get a nice control line plane. And so they had this there, and all nicely laser cut. So I had a nice talk. I should mention that the Willy Nilly's people, I did an interview with them. So I think on our next broadcast, we'll play that interview as well. And also, I should mention Vintage Performance. Was there another part of that name? Vintage Performance Model Airplane. I know it was a long name. He was there, and I got a nice interview with him as well. He makes control line planes, just control line planes, big ones and stunners. And it was a really interesting guy to talk to. So I have a control line plane, and I've got a bag of engines.
Oh, there you go.
So do you guys know Paul Willenberg? You remember him? Lee?
Sure.
He had some stuff he was getting rid of.
He's the guy who designed the fan trainer, right?
Yes, I brought my fan trainer.
Right.
Yeah, wasn't that the guy we went to go see his shop?
Yes, that's the guy we went to his house.
Yeah,
we were there. Yes, well, the neat workshop in his basement or whatever. So, so Paul was there. He has some neat planes. He brought his fan trainer too. He's got a great because this fan trainer was in like a 1990s, early 90s model airplane news, and I used his plans to build mine. And his was a Glow 049 originally, and then he converted it to electric. And he brought it there. It's really nicely finished. I brought mine, so he was tickled to see mine there. Fly around a couple times. So he had a box of various engines, and he had told us, Tony and I, because Tony got something too. So there was a slight misunderstanding. I thought he had a particular type of engine. He didn't, but he ended up coming the next day or so with a box of just other engines. He had random stuff. And so he said, "Here, let's do what you want, and we'll talk. We'll make a deal." And so I got a couple of interesting things. I kind of saw this like, it'd be nice to have another TD 049. This is 049, right? The reds are 049s, or is it black? I don't remember.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so the red 049 TD 049. Now this one is interesting. The red's 051.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so it's an 051. So we were talking about Paul and his fan trainer. He said this was one of the engines he tested in his fan trainer. This is, it's got a cutoff prop. And if you look closely, it is a reverse direction prop. This is a reverse rotation 049 with a pressure tap on the back plate.
Well, they don't care which direction they run, do they?
I don't know. Are they timed?
I don't
Tony,
think so.
you know?
No.
I know the reed valves aren't, but I don't remember about the TDs. But anyways, it does have a reverse rotation prop on it. It's got a pressure tap. He said it might be a little finicky, but it was a little screamer, so I thought that was kind of neat.
What would you time? It's a glow head.
Well, the intake porting on the on this crankshaft. That's what sets the timing.
Oh, okay.
And I've got yet another Norvell engine. This was the 049. All the ones I have are 061, so it's actually my only 049 Norvell.
So how do those compare power-wise to a Cox 049?
They're supposed to be more powerful. They're ball bearinged, and so they can apparently rev up higher.
Okay. And
so I think they're a little heavier, but they're supposed to be more powerful, and they're quieter at least too because they have muffling.
Right. And no built-in tanks, so you got to.
Yeah, you need an external tank with them.
Okay.
So this is an RC, although it doesn't have a muffler tap, which I thought was odd, but it is an RC 049. I like these Norvels. They're kind of neat. I like that.
Are they all carbed?
Yes, they're all carbed. Some are free flight, so no throttle, and some have a throttle.
Okay.
So you can't get a free flight version. I'm particularly fond of the carb throttled.
Well,
Right,
sure.
I never had anything.
Yeah.
And lastly, he had a pair of these. These are ASP 12s. And I thought, well, a pair, because I like twins. So I might build another glow twin to stick these on.
Huh.
I thought they were kind of neat.
Because you like drama in your life.
I like drama. I actually have plans. I have some RCM plans and stuff for twin powered 10 size planes. So one of these days I might get around to it. So I was actually pretty good. I didn't spend a whole lot of money. So I got Paul made me a good deal on the engines, and I got a little kit. And I think that was it.
What was the helicopter thing?
What's that?
Weren't you holding up some helicopter thing a minute ago?
Oh, it's mine. I already had it. I brought it with me.
Okay.
But I think I bent the shaft. The shaft is... Something happened. I think that last flight didn't end too well.
Apparently.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably softer than I thought. Yeah, it is.
Snap. I mean, look the way he's pulling it. Snap.
Oh, well, anyways, I flew this a couple of times, but the last landing, it did like Tony was talking about, it kind of did a circle thing and then hit the ground. I think it bent the shaft slightly.
Yeah, it looked like Blue Thunder flying pretty fast in forward flight.
Yeah, it bent the shaft because the shaft was noticeably, and it was wobbling, and it's still wobbling a little bit. But anyways, so I had my fun. Tony, you've been kind of cool. What's that?
I was gonna say, you didn't bring home a finished airplane. I mean, you brought home a package, but usually you buy something odd or interesting, and you didn't do that.
No, I was good. There was a couple of things that mildly hit my interest, but it was Tony that got a couple of interesting things, though.
Where did he pack them? He already had 300 airplanes in his suitcase.
Hey, how he gets stuff through customs, it's his business.
Yeah, Lee, let me confess. So a friend of mine has been kind over the last few years to allow me to store a few things in his storage facility. And by the time we were about 3/4 of the way finished with small, I realized, oh my goodness, I'm going to need more space. So I ended up getting a storage facility. Ended up acquiring a top flight Streak full-size control line airplane for $45 with a Fox 35 engine, which was a hell of a steal. And I will say, the great thing about these events, especially small, is that there are folks out there that are just looking for good homes for their aircraft, and they're not trying to take you financially. They're just find a little bit of return on their investment, and then ultimately want to see their models fly again. So, like with Paul, like with my friend Mark Humphreys, we were able to acquire some engines. I ended up getting from Mark Humphreys. I got a Cox 010 with a very rare throttle sleeve.
Wow. Man, you find these great deals.
And so give this. I'm going to have to come up with another project to get this thing on because I've never had a throttled 010 fly. So looking forward to doing that. And a few 020s and some other glow plugs and props. But at small, there's always folks there looking to find homes for their old aircraft or engines. And because folks like myself and Fitz sort of have this reputation of going nostalgia with our glow airplanes, they come right up to it. I hadn't even been at the field, honestly, 10 minutes when Mark walked right up to me and said, "Hey, I've got a box of engines. I've been thinking of you. You're more than welcome to look through the stuff." And I looked at everything he had there, and all of it could be put to use in future model projects. So I went ahead and made an offer, and he accepted, and he ended up with some decent cash, and I ended up with a great deal on a lot of engines to help continue to come up with foam conversions and some kit builds as well. Yeah. So it's a neat family of folks that are always out there supporting one another, supporting our great hobby. So thanks to all those folks that are out there trying to keep the glow stuff still alive and finding homes for that stuff. And everybody did well. There's a few people who walked out there with some goodies, so it was awesome.
Cool. Does the Flight Streak have landing gear on it? So I recall it has a single.
Single wheel, that's correct, Jerry. Yes, it does. And it's in immaculate shape. I think the owner previously flew it a handful of times, but with the exception of having to take a heat gun to the covering in a few spots, it's in excellent shape. I went and put a little bit of Rizlone oil in the engine to free it up a bit, and come June, we'll go ahead and run it, puts a set of lines on it, and go out and fly it. Looking forward to it. I've never flown a control line aircraft of that size. It's usually half eight for me, so that'll be a treat.
I think you'll find it easier on 60-foot lines.
Funny, 3 or 4 guys said the exact same thing, so I'm looking forward to that, and maybe trying some aerobatics because besides doing loops, I've not done much more in the control line world. So I'm looking forward to pushing the envelope a bit.
Yeah, I remember that plane when I was a kid. One of my uncles had all 3 versions: the Flight Streak, the Junior, which is a 15 size, and then the Baby, which is an 049 size, and they all had built-up wings. So yeah, and same thing for Ringmasters. We had all 3 sizes of the Ringmaster.
Yeah, Ringmaster was really popular at the event, as Fitz had mentioned. Willie Nilly's produced a half-eight kit that Dave Schaefer flew, and I helped him get the engine running and flying. Matter of fact, neat story: the Black Widow engine that he had on the airplane hadn't run since 1978, and we fired it up for the first time. That thing ran. Yeah, he'd done a little work to clean it up, but had not run it. And when we fired it up, man, I was just tickled. And he hadn't flown control line since 1978, so to be a part of that historic flight for him was really a treat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think I've asked this question on some other show, but are glowheads still reasonably easy to come by?
Yeah, Model Engine Company of America, MACOA. They still produce glowheads now, and then you can purchase them through EX Model Engines and Cox International as well.
Okay, so you don't have to buy new old stock. There's actually new items.
Yeah, you can. Well, that's a great thing about Small is I ended up with a box of old glowheads. Some of them not used, some are, but I'll go through and put a battery to them and make sure they're working. But for those folks that are out there around the world who are still operating them, we have a source through Cox International and EX and MACOA. So check them out. Get those glow plugs and get them fired up.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, Fitz, you're getting a real-time trade offer.
Yeah, I just saw that. Funny you mentioned. I was writing down his name so I wouldn't forget. So.
Deals are being made.
Yeah, we got a couple things. I guess it was quick side diversion. I see a few things in the chat. One guy's talking about Samano's Hobby Shop, Lomax there. Yes, I know Mike Samano very well. Both Lee and I have been down to his shop a bunch of times. Great guy. If you're in the Houston area, in the South Houston, go down to Samano's Hobbies. He's a really good guy to work with. Really good hobby shop. In Kima.
Kima.
And he's setting up I don't know if you knew that, Lee. He's setting up a RC track next to his shop for RC cars. So he's trying to branch out.
Indoor?
Yeah. Outdoor.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's almost done. Also, Jarrett talks about Ice House. I know Lee and I have talked about that. Going to the Ice House fly-in.
Right. I don't think I'll be going, but yeah, that's a big event. And in fact, I was just listening to another podcast and the guy was calling it it's like a mini Ceph. So
yeah.
It's an electric event?
No, I don't think so.
I heard
you said a mini
mix.
Ceph.
So I've heard mixed things on it. So it's basically anything from what I can tell. The website's got a little vague, but somebody told me it's a lot of 3D stuff. So I don't know if it's a 3D event or just a general fly or mixed.
I think it used to be a 3D event, and I'm sure some of the listeners can chime in, but it sounds to me it's really starting to expand into a variety of different aircraft now. So that's great.
Okay.
Where is it?
Not Round Rock. It's in that area. Gosh darn it. Where did we go for flight test? I know it's Apache Pass, but what city is that? Starts with an R. Someone's going to jump in and tell us because we don't have that answered. Jared Clark might. He's responding right now. So Jared, you chime in. Give us the address. Go ahead and give us all the information, Jared. You're on the air.
Drop a pen.
Give us the GPS location.
We know it's Apache Pass, but we just didn't know exactly where it was. But we had been there. I've had my RV stuck there. I got out of there. Rockdale. There we go. So, anywho.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll give it some thought. I'm not sure. I think it's next month, right? November something.
It's November 5th and 6th, I think.
Okay.
I might have that answer right. Or 5, 6, 7. So 5th is Thursday. So maybe it's 6th and 7th.
Yeah, maybe 6 and 7. That's a roughly 3-hour drive, if I remember correctly, ish from us.
Yeah. If you're pulling a trailer with my truck, a 2 mile per gallon drive.
It's not how many hours, it's how many gas stops you need to make.
I think Fitz and I would both. admit we'd go back to Flight Fest there. We had a
Yeah.
good time,
Yeah, we
but
did.
it was terribly windy when we went there. So I
Well,
don't know
the
if
first
that's
day was
normal.
okay. I think the second day was windy,
It
but
was like,
yeah, well.
a lot of flying backwards.
All right, I've got more small questions.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
So
Great.
it's actually the first one's for Tony. I know you had all sorts of stuff that you built up leading up to the event, like a C-47. I think there was a T-6. So how much of that did you actually get to fly? And the
So I
Bearcat?
brought the Rare Bear.
Okay.
Rare Bear flew. I did a UAV drone called the Sky Hunter, and that flew very well. And
Okay.
also did Fox Wings Micro P-51 with an 010 and flew that as well, and had really
Oh, right.
success. So I lucked out. Everything that I brought worked out great. Now the C-47 is still to come. Looking to hopefully fly in December. Going to take it out to El Mirage Dry Lake Bed because I'm dealing with twin engines. Lose one. I've got a nice big hard clay lake bed to put the thing down safely until we can get it dialed in. So
Cool.
Are they
about
throttled?
those stuff. And Terry, let me just say, there were several occasions at Small where I was thinking of you, and I thought, man, it would be great if Terry could make it because it's right up your alley. And nothing, Lee, I know you've been there, and I know you couldn't make it this year, and I hope you can return. But Terry, it would be a treat for you at some point, some way. We have to take up a donation plate for you. To have you there, thinking about you and your 1951 Flying Wing and all these other great unique aircraft. that you
Oh, yeah, it
build.
fit right in.
You're a perfect fit for this community.
I'll just hitchhike there next year. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
There you go.
But no, it's on my list. I've got a bucket list of RC events, and that's on it. So I'll get there.
Yeah.
It is a really
It's
neat
one of
event.
those events that once you attend, you'd want to come back every year because I know I was sold. The hospitality, if you like good food and barbecue, my goodness, they know how to cook in Arkansas, so be prepared.
All right.
I think we should give 2020 the middle finger and go to every event next year. Just hit the road. We're going to go on tour, an RC Roundtable tour. We're going to go to every event.
So, Terry, that Rare Bear was a screamer. That thing moved.
Right.
It motivated.
Right. And it's a foamy, right? Several of those planes you talked about are foamy.
It is. Yeah. The Sky Angel foamy, and like you saw with Fitz's 051, it had a pressure tap on the crankcase, so pressurized that fuel tank. And once it ran really solid. Had a few issues getting it tuned just right. I need to get a competition needle valve on it, which, in fact, I picked up at the event. That way we can really get the needle dialed in perfectly. But I was quite impressed with how well it flew. And like the real Rare Bear, there's streaks of castor oil all over it after each.
So does it dead stick okay? Or were you landing it
It does.
underwater?
It has a really great glide. So,
Okay.
yeah. And I have to give kudos to the Hobby King guys. I think 3 years ago, they did a Sure Start conversion on a Rare Bear, and it flew respectable on the Sure Start. So I just knew the TD was going to take it to another level. And in
Right.
fact, it did. It grooved, it tracked better than I thought. So it was a fun project. And glad it worked out.
Interesting. All right. So the next question is for Fitz or Tony. Now, Fitz, you were talking about how hot it was when you and Lee went, but you didn't seem that excited about the weather this year. So what was better, the stifling heat or the somewhat rain and clouds?
Well, other than the rain, it was much better this time. I'd rather have the cool and semi-dreary weather than the sweltering heat. It just takes all the energy out of you sometimes.
So is it going back to the summer time frame next year?
Tony, do you know the answer to that? I don't know.
Yeah, so in fact, we're hosting 2 smalls. I started the fall small event, I think almost 3 years ago, just as sort of a backup to the original June event, just in case folks couldn't make it. Plus, with that cooler weather, I knew that would be great for some of the older folks that have been tending for years. And as Fitz said, some summers gets pretty hot and nasty. You get a lot of problems with gnats. You're trying to dodge gnats getting in your eyes while you're flying, and it can be challenging. So but the plan is to get back to, I think it's the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of June of 2021 for the small, and then we'll do a fall event in October, mid-October next year.
So it's a year. We got like 7-8 months.
Yeah, 8 months.
Right. But when the guys
can't
from
wait.
Houston tell you it's too hot to fly, it's too hot to fly.
It was. I mean, usually isn't that bad in June, but the time Lee and I went up, it was something happened. It was just it was surface of the sun bad.
We keep talking about that, but obviously you had a little bit better weather this time. I'm glad, and it looks like you. I mean, from all the pictures I saw, you were flying a lot, Fitz.
Yeah, I did. I flew quite a bit. A lot of the most of the stuff I flew several times. I had a little bit of an issue with my Warlock. It got like one flight, and then there's an issue with the tank. I got to disassemble the whole thing to find out what's going on with it.
That's that blue aerobatic plane?
Yeah, that's the Swedish plane, whatever, the blue and yellow. That's another one. I threw it myself. The engine quit, ripped off the landing gear. But I need a landing gear on it. So I started up again, flew it, did like a lap, and the engine quit. I was like, well, that's odd, because it usually runs really well. And I never had this problem with it before. And so I brought it back, and I just, let me, fill it back up and get it tuned in. And I kept filling it, and I kept filling it. I'm like, wait a minute, this tank should be full. And I looked down, and there's fuel dripping out of the fuselage. I was like, okay, we got a problem. So
they used to do P-51s with the wet wings. You could just do that with the fuselage on this one.
Yeah, well,
Make the whole thing a fuel tank.
So, but I did do a lot of flying. I flew quite a few of the glow stuff, some of the electric. I brought unfortunately, what did I bring that was electric besides the? I brought the F-20 Lee.
Yeah, the Pawnee Brave as well, didn't you?
Right. Your Night Flyer?
Yes. The Pawnee Brave, the Night Flyer, flew it a couple times. Oh, I had a flying wing that I picked up from a club member that I had never flown. So I brought that. It actually has lights in it, and it's just some PP. What do you got? PPE? Some foam thing. I don't even know what it is. It's just a flying wing.
So that's 3 planes that you had not flown before you got there. Interesting.
Correct. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. And I flew the wing successfully, but the first launch was hairy because it was really sensitive. It was more so I didn't realize, and an aileron, which was odd for a flying wing, but I got it up, got it tuned out, and flew that several times. Tiny little A10 that I have. I flew.
Oh, right. I remember that
before. It's a little teeny tiny one I got for free from Hobby King, just the airframe some years ago, and I put my own stuff in it. And was there anything else I'm missing? I think I'm missing something else. I can't remember.
You're fading out, Fitz.
Oh, I brought my.
He's back.
Thinking. Yeah, I brought my little UMX Aero Commander. I flew that several times.
Oh, I haven't flown mine in a long time. I need to dust it off.
It's a fun little plane. I forgot how fun that thing is.
Right. Yeah.
You just point it up and it just keeps going up. And you have full throttle.
And you're flying it on 2 cells, right?
2 cell. Yeah, I couldn't find a normal battery, so I had a 2-cell 950 milliamp hour battery pack, and it was just fine. That bigger pack.
I've heard that some people put a 3-cell in that with no mods.
You don't need it.
Yeah, you don't. I think it just shred the wings.
That's just skirting disaster, smoking something.
Yeah.
And you can do touch and goes with it if you're real careful. You do slide and goes. I did that. So
without the gear?
Without the gear, yeah. I took the gear off. I think I broke one of the nose gear or something, and I never got around to fixing it. So I just took the gear out.
Your microphone's going in and out, Fitz.
Can you not hear me?
Now we can.
Sometimes we hear you, sometimes we don't.
Oh, sorry.
Just got to break Vox.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we got Troy in the chat as well. Yeah. Troy, was that small?
I'm gonna do a
reunion.
I'm gonna take a commercial break here, Fitz, because Queenie Perks, is that how we're gonna say it? Queenie Perks. I don't know how you pronounce it, but we mentioned at the beginning of the show that we had a giveaway. I want to go ahead and address that now, and then we'll do a wrap up of Small. For those of you who have been watching for quite some time, an hour, I guess, we did announce a giveaway on our podcast. Fitz, actually, maybe you want to mention how this came about. I'm going to pull up the screen so you can talk about it.
Sure, pull it up because I can't remember the guy's name.
Fortitude RC.
Fortitude RC. Okay, so yeah, I talked to the gentleman that runs Fortitude RC at a fly-in a couple of weekends ago. The you build and fly. So I don't know if you heard about this, Tony. We had a fly-in here, somewhat local to Houston, where only planes that you built were allowed at the fly-in. A real neat event.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was actually fairly well attended, and lots of flying went on. And I just struck up a conversation with this gentleman. He was a really good pilot. He was flying the hell out of stuff. And turns out that he runs this company called Fortitude RC that makes fuel tanks and I guess a few other things I see.
Some tank
tank
mounts.
Yeah, neat. Great gentleman. He runs another fly-in in the area, and he said, "Hey," he found out I was part of the RC Roundtable, and he said, "Well, hey, I'll I'll give away a fuel tank to one of your listeners." And so we decided to have a little competition for that. So he makes these. These are great. They have screw-on end caps with molded plugs and I guess heavy-duty plastic. They're specifically for gas engines, so it's not for glow. It's for gasoline-powered planes. And as you can see, he has several different sizes. I guess starting at 12 up to 32 ounces.
Yeah. Hey, Fitz, I don't know
Yeah.
if your battery's dying, but your audio is kind of fading in and out. Like when you start talking, it's not very loud. I'm going to interject. You look at your microphone for a second. Anyway, what Fitz was drawing to is that this gentleman is going to give away a free tank. He actually didn't specify what size, and he might include the fuel system, the smoke system tanks too, which are listed on his website. So fuel and smoke system. His website's fortitudерc.com. We have a post on our Facebook page. And what we're going to do is give away a free tank. Well, he is rather giving away a free tank to one of our listeners. So all you have to do is send an email to contact@rcroundtable.com. Just type in Fortitude RC Products. Give us your name because we'll contact you via email. Just say, "I want a tank." There you go. That's your text line. I want a tank. You don't have to tell us a story. You don't have to tell us what it's going in. But send us an email. We will draw a winner next week. And actually, I'll make it 1 week from what?
Well, I was going to ask. Let's give a specific deadline.
Well, I was going to say next Friday, so I was planning to pull it up. So November 6th is the cutoff.
Okay.
So
can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, so yeah, the chat is Jason Dunhuckle, and it is a tank size of your choice. So I suggest, along with your email, put in. I guess we'll
contact you.
Start that out.
Yeah. So just send us an email. We'll put them all in a hat. I'll put them in a hat. I'll draw a winner. I'll contact you via email. We'll announce it on our site later on. But by next Friday, we'll have the cutoff. So just get those emails going. One per email address. Don't flood my inbox with 800 emails. It's one person, one email address. But we'd love to help you guys out if you need a fuel tank. These look really cool. I'm thinking of getting one for one of my planes. So
they're really nicely made. They're made in America. So
and look for his YouTube. I think there's I don't know if it's in here, instruction manuals, but he also has a how to assemble it on YouTube, where I watched the video. Yes. It's really nice.
Yeah, he had mentioned that to me and I forgot about it, but yes. So and he's
I like to get one for an 049 power airplane.
Yeah, we had to talk to him, see if we can make like a little 1 ounce one or something.
Get a 32 ounce tank for your 049. There you go.
Well, I thought they were gas only.
Well, well, I'm assuming you could put glow fuel in them too, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's incompatible other than the Tygon tubing.
I just figured gasoline's more toxic, so
I don't know.
We'll make it happen.
Anyway, there you go, guys. That's for those of you again sitting in and staying with us. We appreciate that. Hopefully, you're here for the laughter and the humor and the stories from Fitz. But get those emails in, and we'll go through them and let you know in a week or two.
All right. So I don't know what else to say other than it was a really good event. Great attendance, great people, lots and lots of flying of all kinds of neat stuff. We had some great sponsors. I guess we should mention the sponsors of the event. We had Willy Nilly's, Cox International, EX Models, Vintage Performance Models. I can't remember. What was the last word?
Yeah, Vintage Performance Model Airplanes.
Model airplanes. Okay, I didn't write the whole thing down. So, and Hobbytown was there, too, local Hobbytown, and Brodak. Yes, Brodak. They, I think they donated some fuel as well for the. So,
I think it was a $50 gift certificate. So really generous of Brodak as well.
Yeah, really nice. So if you have any interest in those products, give those guys a look. They were real nice of them to kind of chip in for the event.
We would be remiss if we didn't point out that you, Fitz, produce and sell half-A fuel.
Yeah.
Great point.
Wow, your marketing skills are awful.
Yeah, you need to fire your marketing guy.
Yes, uh-oh.
Fitz's video died, but we hear you, Fitz.
You hear me? Okay. Yeah, my video froze, but yeah, I do have some fuel too. It's fuels.com if you want to take a look. And so I also submitted some for the raffle, which we had at the end. So I guess technically I'm also a sponsor-ish kind of person.
And your audio is going out again, Fitz.
Uh,
You're just fading away.
Fitz makes fuel, and he makes 5%, 25%, 24%, 23%. So whatever you would like, contact Fitz Fuels.
Fitz needs Tony to do his marketing for him.
I was doing a little bit of small because he had mentioned that he can custom make some fuel, which I think is fantastic for those who have particular nitro needs in their fuel. He's able to pull it off. So good on you, Fitz, for going out there and taking care of folks with their fuel needs.
Yeah, thank you.
At least he locked in with a smile.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he's like mid belch or something.
I don't know what happened. Well,
Yeah.
I think it's time to wrap it up anyway. So we'll leave Fitz with a happy smile on his face and then close this off. You have any last words, Fitz?
I'm distracted by my frozen face. No last words. I look forward to next time. We'll go back to small. I can't say if I'll be back at the next June or not. We'll see it. I usually don't know until like a few weeks ahead of time anyway. So I don't think I missed anything. Did I miss anything, Tony?
No, but hey, thank you guys for highlighting this event. It's with a 31-year history. It's pretty cool that you guys are shedding some light on it, and to have Fitz there to help promote it as well is fantastic. So again, like always, thank you guys for going out there and promoting model aviation. That's felt because it really does make a difference. People have mentioned the podcast on a number of occasions when they saw Fitz out there. So good on you for spreading the message. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Our pleasure.
So speaking of, where will you guys be next? Any of the three of you? I thought there was an event every weekend. Isn't that what you were saying?
There probably is. Maybe I'll sneak out to Apache Pass. Maybe I'll surprise myself. I don't know. We got a lot of stuff for the kids, so that's I don't know the rest of the weekend. Thanksgiving's coming after that, and
Kids always get in the way.
but I did go fly twice this past weekend, which is actually I have not flown back-to-back days in quite some time. So
Oh, that's awesome. And you flew wet fuel as well.
I did. It was only wet fuel, as a matter of fact. I flew
Yeah.
Wilson, my Corsair, my Top Flight Corsair, and I flew, I don't know if you can see behind me, but my Solo Strike, old Hangar 9 Solo Strike with a Sato 45 on it.
Mhm.
Oh, and by the way, Terry, this was for you. This was I don't know if you can see the camber.
Oh. Right.
It's hard to see, but it's wrong. It's a 2-inch wheel that was probably 3-inch when I first got it. But anyway, that's a fun little plane, and I love flying that old Sato 45.
Yeah,
Fitz,
cool.
you don't have to laugh. I'm looking at Fitz still smiling there.
How long has it been since you've flown that Solo Strike?
Actually, I've flown the Solo Strike this year. So
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking we need to pull something together where you get the airworthy model in your shop that's ready to fly, but has been sitting dormant the longest, and dust it off. And we can make that a community event.
I don't know if you can see it. See that orange wing right there? Right there?
Yeah,
There's a yellow wing. There's a black wing. That's an Electra, and right there is Olympic 99.
Okay.
And I'll make this real quick because I didn't. This was supposed to be a small story, and we'll talk about this on our next podcast. But a friend of my father's, I just happened to call him out of the blue, and we talked for a while. And I called him for a different reason, but he mentioned to me that he still had copies of video of me and my dad flying gliders, and my heart swelled up 10 times that day. And long story short, he put together one of the videos and put it on YouTube, and I was just bawling. But my dad was flying this Olympic 99. It's the first Olympic with a high cambered wing, and the Oli 2 is the more popular Olympic from Airtronics. But that is the one. That's the one right there. I'm going to start working on that, Terry, and get that back in the air. So
What does it need?
electronics. It has everything was ripped out. But
Right.
it suffered a tail break when my dad was still alive and my friend was flying it. And I had repaired it. And then after my dad died, about a year later, I got it flying again. And that was the last time I hand tossed it. It hasn't been on a high start since my dad. So 20 years resting and still in good shape, transparent orange monocoat. And there you go. So yes, that will be my old plane. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that is the oldest plane in my hangar. That's a
Right.
70s, 80s kit right there.
And you've got some old ones.
I do.
Yeah. Well, that'll be a good one then.
Yep.
All right.
Fitz?
I just want to mention 2 things coming up. One of them I will be going to. The other one I don't know. I don't think I will. Somebody mentioned in the chat, Bomber Field is having an event this weekend. All Jets
Jettoberfest, right?
Fest is this weekend. Also, I'm having my boat float this Saturday.
Right.
Sorry, Fitz. I forgot that.
It's okay. So I'm having a Halloween event Saturday morning.
What time is it?
Frightening Flotilla of Fun.
No, this is the Boo one.
Well, Boo Boat.
That's a horrible name. So Frightening Flotilla of Fun. Is
I will try to get there. I think I have enough time in the morning to make that event, Fitz.
Okay, great. Oh, I got a new toy too. You'll see it.
Too bad we can't see it. You'll have to show it to me.
I have to show it to you when you get there.
He's happy about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Because I got to work on it.
Well, let's wrap this up. We need to do a follow-up podcast too.
Okay. I guess we're good. I want to thank Tony for jumping in the last second. Sorry, no warning. For taking the time.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. Enjoyed it.
And it's great hanging with you and dogfighting with you this past weekend.
Good times.
Appreciate all your help getting things in the air, and glad I could lend my Popeye arm for you. I had a bunch of stuff, not just Tony's. I got.
You did. You
Yeah,
did.
Fitz, try to get some video up on our Facebook page, okay?
I don't have much video.
Oh, thought you did video.
Well,
No,
photos.
no.
Photos.
Just photos? Okay.
Yeah, I have lots
Media.
I'll eventually get through them, but I got to go through them to see what I like for the article first. So, and I'll post them.
I'll try to get a few videos up too, and you guys are more than welcome to utilize them if you need them.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, because there were people taking videos. Paul Willenberg had his weird 3D camera or video thing he was playing with. Yeah, 2 cameras side by side that he was anyway.
Oh yes, that's right.
So maybe he'll post some stuff. But again, if it's an event, that's great. If you're ever in the area, look around June time. Definitely worth a trip up. And I guess we'll give you the follow-up interviews next podcast. And remember the
What are we giving next podcast?
interviews. I did some interviews.
Interviews.
Oh, they're going to be part of the show, not. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, we'll just cut them in. So,
right.
so we'll do anything I forgot, we'll talk about. Any last words, Tony, before we cut out?
No, we'll do a fall small event as well. So if folks can't make it in June or it's too hot in June, we've always got the fall small event in mid-October, and we'll get those dates posted here shortly. And then I'm going to do a second-year annual West Coast version of small at the Prado, California, about mid-December. Last year we had 4 guys, but 2 days of solid fun. So we're going to try to grow that slowly and get more participation. But to go to Prado and see, I think, a 6 or 7 foot runway that's typically used for warbirds and jets, and then all of a sudden you got these half A 049 powered planes ripping around. Those folks always are blown away by these little planes. So we're slowly getting the word out as well.
Okay, well, let us know. We'll try to promote it for you. We'll at least put a link or
I
something.
appreciate that. Yeah, we'll do.
All right. On that note, thanks everybody for listening or watching us, or just watching Lee, Terry, and Tony, because I'm freezing.
We still see you.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening, watching. Well, hopefully it's my good side. All right, until next time, we will catch you later.
All right,
Bye,
bye, guys.